abundance that you give us in all things. We just ask that all of us take advantage of that. We just ask that everything be done according to your will here and not that of our own. For in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. Guess we got some presentations on Alligator.
Yes, we do.
Cafeteria director and CT Pathway Advantage Committee presentations to the board. They're scared. You're gone.
I'll go. You guys want to invite me again? I have a lot to say.
We're excited.
You talk fast.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Should I have brought my lunch or something?
Yep, probably. 'Cause I'm talking too. So
Popcorn.
you need some popcorn.
Where's the concession?
What'd you say?
Thank you.
I know, we need some popcorn.
I like popcorn.
Me too.
So do I have to use this?
Yep.
Yes. Check and make sure it's turned on, Amy.
I think
Okay.
he's got them all turned on.
Is it on, Matthew? Yeah. Are we good? I'm going to start off with some really great news. We were awarded from the Martin County Community Foundation a grant to replace 2 of our warming units. That's not in our budget. So it was a real blessing to receive that. And I also just received confirmation that we have an anonymous donation coming for needy students that we kind of can use as needed, which is really great.
Good deal.
I do want to shout out to my cafeteria crew and maintenance. We kind of work together to make the kitchen operate. We love seeing our kids every day. Everyone's just doing a really great job. These are coming together, cooking a lot of food every day, which is what we like to do. I do want to also take a minute while I have a microphone and shout out to Dr. Lanham and my admin team. For those of you that don't know, I just started back in July, and there's just been overwhelming support from everyone. There's been issues and bumps, and everyone has just come together and helped us out so much. For those of you that have not had a chance to meet Dr. Lanham or talk to her, I would encourage you all to. I'm really glad to see everyone here tonight. This is a good thing. A lot of the stuff that I want to share, I feel like maybe the school board and my admin team, they already know. But it's important. Our community is part of our team, and we're a small town. And so I love that everyone's here and coming together. So a lot of the information that I want to share may even be geared more to our community than it is the people that are here and see what goes on every day. Dr. Lanham has been very supportive of us. We meet every month. One of the hot topics that we discuss is the budget. This is a big concern to me, to all of us here, I know. And so far, I got to tell you, some months we've been in the green, some months we've been in the red. We kind of go back and forth. But it's something that we're being very cognizant of, and we're watching very closely. While you give me the mic, I want to talk to, I do want to talk to everybody, but I think a lot of you guys know this. I think it's important that our community know about the CEP program that we operate here at school, specifically in the cafeteria. The CEP program basically is a state program, but it enables all of our kiddos to eat for free, breakfast and lunch, every day, free, across the board, regardless. That's a program that Tammy started years ago. The closest estimate that I can come to, that's a conservative estimate that I feel comfortable saying in public, is just under 300,000 free meals we have served under the CEP program. That's a lot. That's a really big deal. It's been a wonderful asset to the community. But I do want people to know that which I think we all know, not everything's free. So the CEP program pays us a percentage. They pay us 80%. So just for the sake of keeping it simple, if a meal were to cost $5, so we pay $5, the state will reimburse us $4. So we serve a lot of meals, and that's what we want to do. We come to school every day to feed kids, but financially, you have to think of it as every meal is a loss because it's not free. It's free for the students, but not for the school. And so I want to be very clear about that. And when I say that, so we estimate, so right now we're a few $1,000s in the negative. That's a victory when you look at numbers and you see, I do have like in November, okay, the state paid us for 7,929 meals. That's what we got paid for, but we served 9,911. So to be, not massively in the negative, I do, I think it's a good thing. And like I said, we're monitoring that every month. And obviously prioritizing, feeding our kiddos. I also did want to share some feedback that we've had. We've had feedback from parents, from students, from staff. Some of that's been great. A lot of it's been great. And some of it is not always, and that's okay. We've had feedback regarding probably this is the worst thing. We ran out of the kids' all-time favorite meal. This happened back in October. One of their favorite things that they love to eat, we ran out of it. And so there were some high school kiddos that they had to have an alternative lunch. That was a tough learning moment. You never ever want kids to not, be fed what they want. And all I can say is we live, we learn, we look at data. I'm big into numbers. We do production reports every day. We're serving more and more. And so we've grown, and it hasn't happened since. We've also had lots of feedback regarding portion sizes, certain meal items. And for those of you that don't know, before I was the food service director, I've worked in both offices. I know a lot of the kids, and I love that. They come to me and they'll be like, "Ooh, we didn't like this. This was not so great," or "We really loved this." And I think, and I love hearing from them. That's good stuff. But they're like, we don't get enough to eat. That's been a concern. I am not going to talk about the USDA requirements. There's pages and pages and pages of them, and nobody wants to hear about that. But I do want to say there are very strict requirements about what we can offer and how much we can offer, portion sizes. And one of the things that I've been trying to reach out and say as much as I can is that all kids get one free meal, a free breakfast and a free lunch, but everyone can buy more. They can buy extra items if they want. And I think that that's important. I just want to take time to remind everyone we are restricted as far as how much we can give them, but they can buy more at cost. I had a parent reach out. There were concerns about specifically the breakfast menu. Again, we live and learn. We've added some like higher protein, slower digesting carb options. And the parent, I really love it. The parent was reaching out not only out of concern for their student, but for the whole student body. And so even when we get that feedback, regardless of who it's from, I'm grateful for that because that is how we grow. So I'm always open. Anyone, you call me, email me, come talk to me. We appreciate knowing how things are going for everyone. So that's very important. I also wanted to know there's some things that we've run into. And a lot of this stuff I've worked with admin and we're still working on. There are some things that we don't have immediate solutions to. But we're going to get there. We've had issues with Skyward, our point of sale system, and making improvements to that. So there are some things that we haven't been able to fix right away. But I do want to reassure everyone that, we're working on it. The future looks great. I'm excited for the future. Some of the things that I'm looking forward to next year, and I've talked probably to Kendra more about this than anyone, trying to have mobile breakfast carts in the high school and elementary, updating our software, new computers. Our IT director, Matthew Poole, has been working with us as far as updating our point of sale. Hearing from students, they want a salad and baked potato bar, which I love. I think some staff might like that too, so new things are coming. I'm looking at incentivizing fruit and vegetable. One of the things that Mrs. Gibson suggested was like having a try it Tuesday, try new things. So these are things that I want to incorporate. There's one more really important goal that I would like to start next school year. And that came to me, it was a forwarded email from Tammy Cooper. And it was an idea that she had to celebrate every child's birthday in the cafeteria. And I love it. She had it outlined, how she wanted it to go, singing them happy birthday, recognizing them if they were comfortable with that, and giving them a special treat in the cafeteria at lunch every day. And that is something that we could use donations for. And we're going to make that happen. So I'm happy. I'm happy that, where we're at, we've grown. I'm happy to see where we're going. And I feel like with the team that we have here, I want to say I'm grateful for everyone. As long as we keep learning, we keep communication open, things are going to be okay. I feel like as long as I've worked here, when things get tough, we all come together and we make it happen. Also, I do want to say, if anyone has any questions, I don't want to take up a bunch of time here, but I will stay after. If anyone has questions about, logistically what we do in the cafeteria, I'm happy to talk about that at any time. Do any of you guys have questions or concerns?
At this point, I don't.
No.
Appreciate what
Okay.
you've done.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much for your time. Thank you.
Thanks.
We're next.
Next.
Yeah.
CTA Pathway Advantage.
Yeah.
Why not online?
Probably.
Oh, over here. That'd be great. Okay. So I have a feeling why a lot of people are here tonight. So I decided to create a presentation. We're talking about our CTE from classroom to career. And we have CTE members back there that do an amazing job every day. And we're just here to celebrate what they're doing. And we're going to talk about where we were, where we are, and where we're going, so that everybody's kind of on the same page, because we're here to celebrate the amazing things that happen in this building every day. And I will go back to Kendra Hovis started all of this. And we're just chugging along to make sure our kids graduate with what they need to be successful. And that is the bottom line. And I will say it every day. Callie's hiding behind us being the clicker. She said she's not allowed to talk. She doesn't want to talk, but I have a feeling that if we poke and ask a certain question, she's going to be able to talk. So our pathways align with the new graduation requirements, and they are You want to peek your head around the corner and say how many of them there are, different new graduation requirement options? 7 diploma options coming up as of this year. And they provide students, RCTE pathways provide students with real world skills and industry credentials. And the tricky part, or the great part about this, is with those 7 graduation requirements, kids that take these CTE courses, they're electives in these graduation pathways. So it offers them individualized, almost like a personalized instruction, but it also provides them with personalized experience and growing in whatever field they take. And how many pathways do we have? We have 12 pathways. So our programs also align with local workforce needs in high demand sectors. Students gain hands-on experience that will prepare them for the post-secondary experience that they choose, whether they choose to go into the workforce, whether they choose to go to the military, whether they choose to go to a trade school, whether they choose to go to a 4-year college. All of this and all of what that team back there does leads to not only real life skills that we see every day, it also comes back to what is going to happen for their future here in this community. Am I still going? Okay. So we have some economic impact. CTE graduates earn 15% higher wages, and they fill critical workforce gaps in our community. So on Tuesday, I went to Westgate, Crane, for a Southern Indiana business meeting, and I have to point out that Audrey, I sent her a text because on the first screen it talked about their local business. It had the most hits. That story about their local business had the most hits on this Southern Indiana Business Associates website, and I sent a picture to her because I thought that was great. It's a small town, but we also learned of the economic development in this area and in Westgate and what all the great things they were talking about doing. The lady or the person we're going to approve tonight, we are going to do some micro-credentialing through Westgate. And the person who developed that program was there and talked about how the high school students will be going there to get those micro-electronic credentials. Our kids, we are getting seats at that table. So that's also part of our CTE. So all of these things to see all of the local workforce development opportunities we have for kids. A lot of what we do in our CTE classes prepares them for those jobs. 92% of CTE completers either enter post-secondary education or secure employment within 6 months. We don't have the data for our Shoals students like within the past 5 years, but that is something that I strive to learn, is how many of our kids that go through these CTE courses, how many of them either go to post-secondary or they secure employment. So I think that would be great data for us to have. I'm a data-driven person. I want to see the numbers and see where we are, where we're going. So I'm going to pass it to Kendra, who started this, and she's going to share the then and now.
So first, I want to just say I want to thank Dr. Lanham for yesterday. She came to me in Cali and said she was wanting to do this presentation, and I thanked her for including us because this is something I am very passionate about. And poor Miss Eubank got drafted in at 7 a.m. this morning because I did not feel comfortable talking about her 8th grade because she knows it better than I do. If you don't know my history, I became an administrator here 10 years ago. I did not start CTE here. I want to reiterate that because 10 years ago, back when I was in school here, I see several Shoals alumni here. We had 3 pathways: business, culinary arts, and industrial arts. And I don't know how many remember this, but my huge project for industrial arts was the toothpick bridge. That was the biggest project. We couldn't wait for it all year. So when I became an administrator the first time around in the high school, I had a vision. I wanted to blow CTE up because I feel like here at Shoals we have my vision was to offer the best of both worlds because of the community that we have and the mixture of students we have. And my vision was to offer, a pathway to our high academic kids. So that was the early college program. And then my other dream was to blow up CTE for those kids that, not everyone is geared towards college, and that's okay. And what can we offer those kids so that they're ready when they enter the workforce? So that's how this came about. So we've gone from 3 to now 12, and to see how many of those are taught by Shoals alumni, teachers who have come back, some who weren't even teaching, who we have pulled off I don't want to say the streets, but recruited back to Shoals to be a part of this. And so they are so passionate about things like this. So with any idea, you keep dreaming, you keep wanting to do more. So we haven't just stopped at this. We also have a 3 to 5 year goal. Our preschool, we're looking hard at our preschool and trying to revamp that and that program. So this is where the CDA, the Child Development Associate Certification, comes into play. And that would be led by Sarah Sexton, who teaches, who just started our early childhood education pathway this year. She is teaching the first course in that. And we hope to be able to offer our students the CDA so that when they graduate here, they could go straight up to that preschool room and get a job as an assistant if they want, and they are certified, ready to go. We want to be able to offer welding and OSHA certification. Ethan Adams probably never thought in a million years he would be teaching here. But we reached out to him and was like, what do you think about this? And he came back and, oh my gosh, we have a waiting list for that welding class and what he's doing with it. And he's working on updating his certifications, and so that hopefully we can certify our students to earn a certification so that when they graduate, they can go right into the workforce and make $20 to $25 plus dollars right away, just because of what we offer here at Shoals. My dream is to expand the CTE. This is kind of the holdup. We can't offer these certifications in welding because we have an infrastructure problem. And we know that. They know that. It takes money, and there's been a lot of budget cuts. And so that is what the holdup right now is with our welding pathway. And my goal in 3 to 5 years is to see our CTE expand not only for welding, but our construction trades, our FACS, our culinary, all that. Because if we would get that expansion, you would not believe what we could do and offer. CAD certification, Megan Hawkins, she wasn't able to make it tonight, but she's working on offering that in the STEM and engineering pathway. Bringing back the farm to table program. And I want to touch on what Amy said. Amy is brand new. We got to give her grace. She's learning. She's doing wonderful at what she does, but she just let's have patience and give her time to get her feet wet and learn. She's actually doing 2 jobs. She's not only the food director, but she's also the cafeteria manager. And so and she's all for this. We just got to give her time to bring that farm to table program back. And then Safe Serve certification, we want to offer that so that our students could go into the cafeteria, because like she said, there are guidelines, there's state guidelines we have to follow. And if they are certified with Safe Serve, they could go in and actually work in the cafeteria. If she's short-staffed, we could send a student over there if they were certified in this, and we are working on that. And then this is really exciting. Mrs. Sexton has started up Rocks Catering in the culinary arts program, and they have been catering for area businesses or organizations. You want to touch anything else on our goal for that?
I just want to come back to a couple of the things. Like, there's amazing work going on, and I've talked to the board a lot about this. We're not doing anything except growing and expanding our program. We aren't closing anything down. We want our kids to leave here with a leg up on kids from other school districts. For example, Washington was supposed to come yesterday to visit the farm because they are considering putting in or building that at their school. But between you and I, that's not not very far from Washington to Shoals. So when kids graduate and they go to apply for a job, what can we offer our kids here that's going to give them the opportunity to say, well, I already have that, and the other student does not. So for me, in my leadership role, I see the value in all of these things of making sure that our kids have what they need when they leave here to be successful, whatever their successful level looks like. And also being able to provide for their families. You know, that's a big deal. So we offer CNA courses. I can tell you from personal experience. I know how valuable it is for someone to graduate from high school, even if they're going to college or not going to college, and being able to work as a CNA and make $18 an hour as compared to not having that. They may never use it, but they will always have it. And for me, right here, I've watched this school. I left here, yes, but I have followed this school, and I knew coming back here that these things were already a big part of this community, and that's one of the reasons I came here. I want our kids to graduate and be successful, and we talk about this a lot. I mean, you can ask. We talk about this. We go to Cosmos meetings. We talk in our admin meetings. We talk every day. We talk about how to make sure our kids can be successful in the next part of the phase of their life, because that reflects on us. And we want them to stay here. We want them to grow. We want them to raise their kids here. As I look around this audience, some of you were students when I was here. And I'm very honored to be part of this team. And Kendra has really done a good job of leading the drive behind this, and she's encouraging these conversations. And then now we're getting Carol involved. And Callie, I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to sit at a table with Callie and talk about CTE courses and graduation pathways, she will, like, it's amazing. I sat with her at a Cosmos meeting for the first time a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh my gosh, wait. So, and the teaching staff, they're incredible. They're doing great things in their classrooms. They're bringing things forward that we haven't even noticed before. And we were talking about Miss Eubank being in one of the classrooms and just talking about how great the lesson was and what the kids were doing and how engaged they were. That's important to us. We want kids to enjoy being at school. We want them to want to be here. We want them to learn. I could go on for hours.
Dr. Lanham did ask about making these classes dual credit. And I do want to say if any of the students are interested in dual credit, then they have that opportunity through our Cosmos partnership at Orleans or Mitchell. What we offer, that's what I said earlier when I said I wanted the best of both worlds. We have our early college and we have our CTE trades. But if we have a student that would want to take these classes as dual credit, they can do that through our Cosmos partnership. But I think we are doing really well with what we have going on here. Dr. Lanham asked me to share our story. So like I said, 10 years ago when I came into this building, we had the 3 pathways. And I am, if any of my friends were in this room, they would tell you I'm the idealist. I love throwing out ideas. I just don't know how to execute them at times. But I love throwing out ideas. So I went to the former superintendent at the time and I was like, I want to blow up CTE, not literally, but I have these dreams. And of course, you can't just hire anyone and everyone. So I was like, why? You got to think outside the box. Why couldn't we utilize the people that we already have here in this building? And she looked at me and she was like, what do you mean? And I said, for example, our school nurse. Why couldn't we use our school nurse to teach 1 period a day? And that opened up and started our health science pathway. We have a social worker. Why couldn't you use her to teach a period a day? And that opened up our social work pathway. And then from there, it just has continued on. Our school psychologist, we are very blessed to actually have a school psychologist. I know a lot of schools around us contract that out. But we have one of the best here on site, and she teaches psychology classes for us and for Orleans and Mitchell as well. But the opportunities that it has opened up for for our kids. For example, you see this little guy down here. Ben, I think that's your little guy. I was getting pictures and putting on here. It is not just geared for our high school kids. I mean, these classes are for all ages, all levels. And for example, in Ben's pathway, he works so closely with Purdue Extension on introducing kids to 4-H and getting them started in 4-H. And I don't know if any of you are 4-H members. I was a 10-year 4-H member, and it did wonders for me. But just stories like that, and just the life skills. I see some of the students back there. Liam, I'm going to pull you out since you're here. This boy back here, he got an internship at J&R Tool, and their exact words were, "We don't take high school students, but we're taking yours because we know all the skills he's learning in Ben Kent's class." And just stories like that and what this program is doing for our kids is amazing. As you can see here, 10 years ago, so Ben came to myself when I was principal and the superintendent at the time, and he had a vision of a farm. And I don't know that he ever received the yes answer from the superintendent. And I just, as principal, because this was an open field. I don't know if you guys remember what the field looked like years ago, but it was just an open field. And he had a vision of taking his construction trades class, building a barn, and then his ag class would take care of the farm. And that's exactly what they do now. And it just continues to grow. But you see this beautiful barn here that was built all by our kids. I mean, that's pretty amazing what we have going on here. This is just outcomes and impact. Some statistics about CTE students who graduate at rates 15% higher than non-CTE peers, and 64% of them secure employment in their field within 12 months. I do want to share some stories that we have of recent graduates. We had a graduate boy that went through the construction trades program a few years ago, and he now operates his own business, and he probably makes more money than I do or any of us. He's very successful, and he said the first time he ever started doing any of that kind of work was in that construction trades class. We have 3 students who have taken what they've learned from ag and got accepted into a program out in Montana to work on these large ranches out in Montana, all from what they've learned in the ag program. And then I've already shared about Liam and his internship at J&R, that they would not have accepted a high school student, but they knew just from word of mouth and seeing it what our programs do and how experienced our kids are when they leave here with these programs. So we continue to grow each year. We're not stagnant. I don't like to be stagnant. I like to keep going. Sometimes my teachers probably get mad at me for that I go to them with another idea. But what's new this year is our early childhood education. Again, our goal is for those kids to graduate with their CDA, and then they can go right upstairs to our preschool class and serve in there as an assistant. We were able to offer the full human service pathway. What that is that's your social worker. Mental health is so important nowadays. Used to, you never heard of mental health. People wouldn't talk about it. They didn't want to talk about it. You shouldn't talk about it is what. But we want to talk about it here. It's so important. And we offer a full pathway in nothing but human services. And they talk a lot about mental health. And then welding technology. Last year, we just offered the first course. A pathway consists of 3 courses: your introductory course, your concentrator A, and your concentrator B, before you can graduate. And last year, we just had the 1 introductory, and we still had a waiting list of students. This year, we're now offering course 1 and course 2, and next year we hope to offer the entire pathway. Okay, this is where I drafted Miss Eubank at 7 a.m. this morning to talk about her.
Okay, so this is a little different in the middle school because they're little, right? And they have no idea what they want to do. So a couple of ways they kind of dip their toe into it is in 7th grade, they have 12-week rotations. So they get to go to culinary and art, and we do have a study hall. In 8th grade, currently, they get 2 introductory pathway courses available to them. And we're hoping to expand that next year for a lot of reasons. But some of the other things that we do is a skills assessment in the middle school. Students complete an interest and an aptitude inventory. We're trying to increase the number of project-based learning activities that we're doing in the middle school for a lot of reasons. As you might imagine, it's much more engaging, which makes my job easier as a disciplinarian. So, and then we are doing some parent-student advising individual meetings, especially because of the new diploma requirements, and they've expanded to a complicated level. It's going to have to be one-on-one. So we talk about that in their transition meetings and their IEP meetings, and then they'll have some one-on-one time with Callie in the spring when they're making their schedules for their freshman year. So what's coming up? Well, with the new accountability model, I don't know what everybody knows about that, but the state's brought back the new accountability model where we're going to get letter grades. They recognize the new diploma tracks. That's a lot of choices for a middle school kid to make and pick a pathway and graduate and be able to do the work-based learning all before they graduate. That's a lot. So the idea is to open up more of the intro classes to 8th grade. And instead of having 2, next year we'll be able to offer them 4 so they can kind of dabble in different things before they have to pick a pathway their freshman year and kind of stick with it. So these are the things we're hoping to open up for 8th grade students. We already do an intro to ag. They already do intro to business. We're hoping to open up intro to computer science. We're hoping to get some time with Ben in construction. We're hoping to expand the education professions. So we've got a lot of things that we want to be able to offer our 8th grade so they can at least try 4 of them before they have to kind of pick something. Because I got a 19-year-old in college who still doesn't know what he wants to do, and we're trying to make 8th graders figure it out. So I don't know. But anyway, 85% of the 8th graders will select a pathway before entering high school. And 92% retention rate in chosen pathways through graduation. So the idea is they pick something after they've dabbled in it, pick something their freshman year, stick with it, and actually graduate with a completion of a certificate. So that's where we're headed and why we're headed there.
And just as we had said, looking to the future, we want our CTE courses are high quality, and we want the credentials to give students a leg up by providing certification, skills, and hands-on experiences that other students in the community don't have. And if you noticed when Kendra was talking about the 3 to 5 year plan, you always have to be thinking 3 to 5 years. Their schedule already like mapped out. So that's the way our brains are we're supposed to think down the road. So what can we do to make sure our kids have a leg up? And we want our kids to graduate certified, skilled, experienced, and we want to connect them to the workforce. And by all the things that people are doing in this community and Megan's college and career fair and all the visits and all the field trips and things that they're doing, they are getting exposure to all of these places in the workforce. And it's amazing that we have these opportunities for kids. And it all started just with this thought, and all of these CTE opportunities are just coming to fruition. But we want to keep pushing the envelope of how do we keep making it better for kids, and that's our ultimate goal. So we want to balance academic courses. They have to have academic courses. With the new diploma system, acknowledges students that they need that personalized option that are adaptable to their goals and ambitions, and that's where the CTE comes in. They get to kind of see where they want to be, and I love that we're going to kind of push that down a little bit in the middle school. The whole new accountability system is a whole nother conversation that I'm sure you guys, we don't want to bore you with that, but we are looking at what makes that. We want to show the people in the state or whoever's looking at coming to school in Southern Indiana or in Martin County, we want them to come here. So we want to give them the evidence. We want to provide the evidence of what all great things our students and teachers and families are doing here so that they pick us. And that's the bottom line. We want students to be able to use these CTL courses to satisfy graduation seal requirements and make sure they do everything that Kelly needs them to do before they graduate.
I'm not going to
Now
touch.
that's part of the new graduation.
Yeah, I'm not going to say a whole lot about this. This is a requirement now for the new graduation requirements. It's a ridiculous amount of hours that the state is saying that these kids have to have. So we're going to be partnering more with local employers to offer internships and apprenticeship positions and job shadowing. But that's something I feel like our school already got a jump start on and does a great job at it. I think that brings us to the end. Dr. Lanham will close up, but if anyone wants a packet of what all the pathways we have to offer and exactly what those classes look like, they are over here if you want to take one when you leave.
We also have our Cosmos here. So we have been working with to kind of shore up our opportunities for next year and what we want our kids to take a step if they start next year. So those in color even. If you have questions, I am available. My phone number is on this presentation. I am open to conversation at any time. My cell phone, anybody in here, I'm going to give it to you. 812-639-8831. Call me if you have a question. I will answer it to the best of my ability every time. I am here to serve this community, and I appreciate it.
You might tell them what graduating class the new diploma criteria.
The current freshman.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the new diploma.
If you have a sophomore, junior, senior, they're good. They're safe.
They are off.
For now.
For now.
For now. I say for now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah. No.
Okay, thanks for those presentations. Appreciate it. Okay, we need approval of the minutes from the November 13th meeting. A motion to approve.
All motion.
I'll second.
Ethan, Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Comments from patrons concerning items on the agenda? Anything there? In general.
I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Chris Scott, and I am the director of Limestone Capital Volleyball Club, otherwise known as LCV. I'm here today to kind of allow you to put a face to the club. It's been far too long since I've been to one of these board meetings, and to coincide with practices and so forth. But I was kind of wanting to see what me and allow you to ask any questions that you may have. LCBC has been around since 2006. It was founded by Mr. Scott Saunders, who very sadly passed away yesterday. I have taken over this program since 2016. We came to Shoals, and we had a number of girls that were traveling far too much to participate in our club. I was welcomed with open arms by this community. Kind of feel like a second community. And the staff has been absolutely excellent to deal with. Maintenance staff, janitorial staff, the school board, principals, and everybody in between have been excellent to deal with since we've been. When we first started here, people always ask me what kind of tool we're using, what we can be doing any good. When we first started here, there were several people that were moving away from Shoals and going to other area schools because they did not want to participate with the volleyball program. If you Google Nice Preps right now for the 2018-2019 season, I believe the record was 0-19. if your kid is in volleyball, that does not look very attractive in any way, shape, or form, especially when you have so many choices in the area. This year alone, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the volleyball team set a season record, 24-5, most wins during the season. They were second place in the Blue Chip Conference, and we only lost the one match to state champion, eventual state champion, Harvey Lady Country. Probably what I'm most proud of about our program is the girls that go through our program fall in love with the sport of volleyball, get taught many of the life lessons that we teach, and then come back to coach them. That to me, as a director, is the ultimate paycheck. It is something that I really truly cherish, and I'm very, very, very proud. Volleyball, it's very costly. There was a few girls from this area that they participated in the Purple City program. They were having to leave school immediately after school from 2.5 hours away, participate in a 2-hour practice, and then drive 3 hours back. Sometimes they were getting home at midnight. That to me was absolutely, it crushed me because these girls were spending 8 hours in a car after school, getting home at a very, very late time to chase their goals of viable volleyball. Since our inception, we've been able to keep the cost very, very low. We are one of the cheapest volleyball clubs in Southern Indiana compared to what everyone else is offering. The cost for our program is $600. I have not raised fees for 3 seasons, I believe, and it started out at $450. One of the problems that we face as a small club is we are hindered by the IHSAA 3 girls from any school to a roster. A lot of clubs will not touch high school divisions because of it. So I know a lot of people have raised concerns about why they see so many girls in here wearing neutral shirts and so on. In order for me to facilitate 12 LCDs or 12 Shoals girls, I have to come up with 4 high school teams. So I have to, this great big puzzle that I have to put together to make sure that we're competing, make sure that we're succeeding, and make sure they're getting better. That takes girls from make me think about it. I would love to have every single girl in the Shoals area play for us. I went above and beyond. I realized that the financial constraints of this affect a lot of people in this area. I have one pocket. I have offered to set up. I have one mom that paid me $50 a month for forever. And there's been a lot of times that I've just forgiven debt because I felt like I had to. During our tenure at Shoals, I'm a true believer that one hand washes the other. That's kind of an unspoken thing. I went out of my way to behave as a great guest in this facility. I have repaired items in this facility 3 and 4 times over. Closet and boards and everywhere in between. I've repaired standards, net systems. I've donated antennas and equipment, net storage systems, and carts. I don't know why we tear so many carts, but we do. Donate them time and time again. This year alone, I think it's over 800. I've also volunteered in the past, reffing Summer League high school stuff. I'm certified to say that. Summer League games at no cost. 5th and 6th grade spring games, also need to do it at no cost because I wanted them to get them to fall in love with the sport. Another thing I'm very, very proud of that we started. This is kind of an idea for something that was an idea of Scott's. Was we wanted to create a toy drive for a lot of their kids because we know how hard it is in families. Last year, we finally looked at each other and said, you know what, let's quit talking about it. We did, and I know Shoals alone got over 137 clothing items or toys that were donated to the local area. We're going to have it this Sunday. I'm very, very proud of that program. Below 137 items completely away. God willing, if the weather will hold out, we're going to live on that. Kind of get to feel like Santa Claus, I guess. We've also helped, spent several hours over the years facilitating summer camps, team camps, several open teams, and we firmly believe that the record shows that we are making, not just on this team, so volleyball all over the place. Our kids win state championship. Our Lagodi girls are competing for section. I wasn't at the Lagodi Shoals semi-final match. I was repping it Edgewood, but I would love to. Another thing, more kind of pass this. We do have our own insurance. Joel is listed as a beneficiary on this insurance policy. I've been told I don't run very many schools. If I did, it would probably wouldn't go very far. But I've been told that I have better insurance than most schools. Like maxed out $15 million. That we've been incredibly cautious about what we do to make sure we're not utilizing. The reason we've been able to accomplish a lot of this, the reason we've been able to keep the price so low is due to the gracious of you guys allowing us to use it. I will tell you that if I all of a sudden start making these prices, probably going to be like $650, $700 to play. And I think there's a certain amount of bills that it would put it out of each student. And I want to try to avoid that as much as possible. Our kind of mantra, or the thing that we really, really take pride in, at the end of the day, these are student athletes. These are girls that they may go on to college, some of them may not. Whatever. We love to instill life lessons. We love to instill confidence. So with anything, I've had several girls that have been to the school that have one that you gave her any feedback at all, and she could cry. But, her being coached by my daughter didn't work out very well at times. But this is the same girl now who is she's operating on the and she still takes on challenge after challenge. Several times over the years to tell them, hey, you got this, you did this, you can deal with volleyball, you can deal with these games that we put through, you can absolutely deal with anything that life throws at you. When I took this over, Scott taught me how to coach girls, and Scott taught me how to understand this. At the end of the day, no matter what we're doing, it's about the girls. That's always been a mantra. It'll continue to be. With that, so community, I want to thank you guys for allowing us to exist all these years. Make no mistake, it does not go unappreciated. Thank your staff over the years, past and present, that have worked with us. We'll continue to many years. This guy has people.
Do you have anything at this point?
So
I
appreciate.
want to say thank you. I haven't met you, and I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us and explaining things. This was very informative for me. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Oh, sorry. Thank you.
I want to talk a little bit about the softball program. Rumor has it that, I mean, I know the rumors have been flying around like crazy. And rumor was that Tony Graber was going to lose his opportunity to do lessons out here. That was the rumor. Well, we never thought nothing about it until a week ago, this past Monday, I received an email from Principal Hovis wanting to know how many girls that Tony did and how many were from Shoals. So he does 70% of them from Shoals. He started out, the first year he done this, he started out with one. And now he's at 70%. And I checked around, the reason I didn't put it in the email, because I checked around afterwards on what was going on. But the going rate for lessons at Southern Indiana Sports Academy, which is Washington, and they just now opened a new one in Lagodi, is $90 an hour. Evansville is anywhere from $70 to $85 an hour. Linton is about $75 an hour. I mean, the stuff is expensive. And Tony does it for 20. And all the stuff he uses is his. I mean, his bats, balls, everything he purchased himself. And he also coaches the junior high team, which this is going to be the second year we've had a junior high team in a row. And he works with quite a few girls, and him and myself started a year ago, started a pitching clinic for elementary. And it's still going. So, but anyway, I just wanted to give you that extra information because everything, like I said, everything he does, he pays for himself, and he also donates supplies to the players that did not ask him. So, anyway, I just wanted to throw that in because my presentation or my email was kind of vague on what all was there. But anyway, I just wanted to explain a little bit more about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
It's my
Okay.
Well, we don't want that.
Thank you for that information.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Okay. Reports from building principals.
That's okay. We're good.
Yeah,
We're good.
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 Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. I just want to say, as we close out this first semester, I just want to take a moment to highlight the work that our elementary building is doing and has done all semester. This time of year, December, is very busy, yet our teachers and staff, they continue to show up with purpose and heart every single day. And if you have a chance, I know the Theta Clubs are going to be doing the light show this weekend, but if you just take a stroll through the elementary, you will experience just flashbacks of hopefully your own childhood, because our teachers have transformed every single part of the hallway to make it extra special for our students. And they still are showing up and delivering meaningful instruction and meeting grade level standards every day. I don't know how they do it and how they have the energy to do it, but they are. So I'm grateful for their dedication, and they make our school great. Teachers, students, they make the magic happen. So recent highlights for elementary, we have had our music program. Miss Kim Hickman and her students hosted a wonderful program last Friday. Miss Hickman always does a wonderful job with that. Our elementary and high school CTE collaboration. So that's a really cool thing about being under one roof. Our elementary teachers partner several times throughout the year with our art, ag, shop, STEM, engineering, our culinary classes. So they are able to, our young students are able to explore those pathways starting at preschool all through their elementary grade level. So we are very appreciative of your guys' efforts and just willingness to allow our littles into your classroom. So thank you for that. And then some upcoming events in our elementary. We have several events next week planned. So we have classroom plays in the second grade, preschool gingerbread party, community caroling, STEM field trips for our 5th grade at Westgate. We have a Grinch theme day in the auxiliary gym, and that will be for preschool all the way to 5th grade. We may even have a possible surprise rooftop visit from a few of Santa's elves, is what I've been hearing. And I just want to say these events are just collective efforts from our staff and teachers who have a strong sense of community, and they make Shoals Elementary a special place for our children to learn. So thank you all for that. And I see several teachers out here in the crowd. So thank you all. And parents, grandparents, if you have a chance to tell your child's teacher thank you, please do so, because teacher tired in December is a whole other level. So thank you all.
Thank
you.
Oh, she dropped the mic.
That was good.
That means it's over. That's it, right?
Okay, so also wanted to shout out to the Rockstar Robotics teams who received their 2nd consecutive Champions Award at the first LEGO qualifying tournament held at USI on the 22nd of November. And our Robo Rocks team won their robot game and design awards. And so both of those teams will advance to semi-state. So congratulations to them. Okay, in terms of student programs, middle school just wrapped up their first iLearn checkpoint this November 14th. We, as my staff, when I say we, we're using that information from the iLearn checkpoints with our iReady benchmarks to kind of revamp our basic skills class. So we sent out a message that we're making some schedule changes starting in January, and the idea is to tailor their basic skills class for what the kids actually need. So we're opening up an enrichment class for the kids who are at an above grade level to do some new and improving things for them. And then we're also going to open up some more reading recovery type classes for the kids who need that. So we're tailoring that basic skills class. So I apologize for all the schedule changes coming in January, but we're just trying to do what our kids need. I also wanted to let you know that Miss Hoffman and Miss Harder hosted a 2-day workshop in the middle school health classes, and they were informing students about the dangers of vaping. We are looking forward to another event 2nd semester in conjunction with the Martin County Health Department. So as you know, vaping is a huge issue in schools across the state, not just our school, and we need to keep kids informed about the dangers of participating in that. In terms of athletic, right now we have 41 middle school kids who are participating in athletics. They're either playing basketball or cheering or doing something. So we're eager to see that participation. In terms of teacher accountability, we haven't had another PD day since our last meeting here, but that doesn't mean we're not learning. So we have several staff in the middle school who have either renewed, or for me, I'm getting my CPI training. So if you don't know what that is, that's crisis prevention intervention. So when we have kids who are in a really crisis state, we can better manage their behaviors. So got 4 teachers doing that, Miss Esch, Mr. Turpin, Miss Gardner, and myself. And then we had a few others who renewed. And then we also had the opportunity to send Miss Cornett and Miss Overton to some professional development for gifted and talented teaching. So that enrichment class, we're giving those kids what they really need to do great things. Coming up it's my birthday month. Are we excited? Okay. So for my birthday in January, we're going to celebrate with the kids. And so we are going to celebrate all students with perfect attendance for the first semester. We are going to celebrate 1 week for anyone who showed any kind of improvement on their academic scores. We're going to also celebrate all kids with AB honor roll. And then we're going to celebrate any kid who participates in any club, athletic, or activity, because we want these kids engaged in school. So we're celebrating my birthday next month.
I heard that.
I'm excited.
It's the 17th, if anybody cares.
Do I ask
Get another mic drop on that? Yeah.
Oh, she is? No.
It's cute.
All right. The senior beta had a successful event last month. We brought home in the high school 11 champion awards and a total of 34 awards qualifying for nationals next summer, which will be in Nashville, Tennessee. So 11 champion and then 34 total that qualified for nationals. So that meant they were either second or third place in the state. Our college and career fair was a huge success with over 60 booths. It has become so big that we have area schools who call us up and ask if they can bring their kids here because ours is better. I mean, that's what they say. They said we can't pull one off like this. So we had Orleans come and we had Lagodi come this year. So had 3 schools visiting, and Megan Hawkins, I want to give a shout out to her. That girl does a tremendous job at putting that together, and she does a great job at making sure there's both college and career choices for our students. As you know, I have mentioned this almost every board meeting. The state is coming down on us on attendance. That's part of our accountability model. They're going back to giving us a letter grade now, and attendance is part of that. They want to see 94% or higher. So I have been on my high schoolers. Some back there might not be too happy with me how I am on them, but I am proud to say that to date, from the first day of school, they are at a 94%, and that's probably the highest they've been in several years. So shout out to our students for working hard on this. You can confirm that as the attendance officer last year. Yes.
Very good.
Speaking of attendance, it's also part of our final exam exemption clause, and I do have some students that aren't too happy with me on this because they have had to make it the entire semester and only have 4 or less tardies or absences. They can't have 4 tardies and 4 absences. It's both, and to be exempt. They also have to have an average of 90% or higher in the class. So, sorry guys on that, but got to hold them accountable because it also teaches them a life skill. They got to get to work on time, and so they got to get to school on time. Final exams, they begin next Wednesday and they run through Friday, and a list of exempted students will be posted on Monday morning. On Tuesday, I want to touch on something that this young girl said in the back. If you would spend the day in one of those classrooms, it will bring you so much joy and a smile to your face. It has been a rough few weeks around here, and I was able to join Mrs. Goodman and Mrs. Whitmer and Mr. Fisher and Mr. Goodman on a field trip to Mitchell, and we got to go to the Mitchell Opera House, and the students got to vote on a Christmas movie, and they voted on Home Alone, which is a great movie at this time of year. And then we went to Golden Corral for lunch, and I laughed so much, and it just brought so much joy and laughter to me. And I want to just attest to what she said these aides do. Mrs. Whitmer back there, I don't even know that she got to eat because she was feeding a student the whole time and making sure before yeah, 4 rolls, and she made sure the child or Miss Goodman found a sweet potato This girl will not eat anything but certain things, and sweet potatoes are her thing. And she was yelling at us wanting a sweet potato, and I didn't find any, but Miss Goodman found one. I don't know where she did, but she found a sweet potato. But just watching how they interact with these students, I mean, these students, oh my gosh, they just, like I said, bring so much joy and laughter. So thank you, Miss Goodman, for letting me attend your field trip. Teacher observations are almost complete for this semester. And if you look on the back, it's full of pictures. Several of those pictures are what I have encountered when I go in and observe a teacher. We have the best teachers here at Shoals. I truly believe that. Our students are so fortunate here. The Angel Tree program, speaking of teachers, when Ann Stewart gave up the Angel Tree program a few years ago, she didn't know who was going to take that on. And we had several teachers, several I see right here in the front row, that stepped forward and took that on. And this year, 101 kids are going to be blessed with the Christmas. And that Angel Tree pickup is Monday from 4 to 5:30, 4:30 to 6 in the cafeteria. And I also want to thank Mr. Scott because his toy drive actually helps our Angel Tree program, and we set it out, and our kids get to pick a special toy out too. So thank you, Mr. Scott, for that. Our first official steering committee for the Microelectronics Academy at Westgate is supposed to happen tomorrow, and we will join Bar Reeve, North Davis, and Eastern Green as the new cohort. So how we got invited to that is a team came here and they toured our school, and then they did interviews, and we still didn't know if we were going to get invited to participate, and because they didn't know if our students were prepared, if we enough to enter this. And they came, and after the tour, I mean, the guy he said, I'm not even going to wait to ask. He goes, I'm inviting you from just based on what I've seen here. So we're excited to be the second cohort into that. And our student recruitment will take place here on January 8th. And then last thing is upcoming events, the Beta Light Show this weekend. And then Homecoming and Coaches versus Cancer is on December 19th. Speaking of Coaches versus Cancer, we're honoring one of our own, sweet Mira. Mira Kidwell is battling a rare form of bone cancer, and she went through a 10-plus hour surgery yesterday and came through okay, but we just want to continue to lift her up and pray that for complete healing on that. But we will be honoring her at this game. We're actually having 2 nights of Coaches versus Cancer, the 18th and the 19th. And then winter break, I'm sure that everyone's excited for, December 22nd through January 2nd. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I think the Beta Light Show is dependent upon the weather. Just
Okay.
last I heard, because of possible.
Paul said it's starting to snow really bad.
Miss Eubank. Miss Eubank,
Carol.
you probably should roll. It's starting to snow.
Mm-hmm.
It's your chance to leave.
All right, let's move this along here a little bit. Approval of the following for athletic programs: Terry Kerr as volunteer middle school track coach, Garrett Bateman as volunteer for all grades with boys basketball program, Jaylee Harger as middle school cheer volunteer. Approval of the following sponsors: FFA Kathy Overton, Pep Club Cammie Sanders, High School Student Council Megan Hawkins. Approval to accept the resignation of Brandy Rice from elementary teaching assistant effective December 10th. Approval to accept the retirement of Darla Holt from the central office position effective at the end of the 25-26 school year. No.
I second that. Scratch that one.
Approval of the following junior class sponsor: ECA pay, prom stipend, $333 for each individual, 3 sponsors. Haunted house stipend, $200 each, 2 sponsors. Concession stipend, $1,400, 1 sponsor. Motion to approve those personnel issues.
I'll motion with accepting number 4.
I told you
I'll
that was gonna be a
motion.
problem. We got Annette,
I'll
Second.
second. I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for what you've done over the last several years.
Definitely.
Still got a little bit of work to do though, so
Yeah, you're not out the door yet.
it's not over yet.
Right.
Approval of the following senior class sponsor ECA pay senior activities, 413 each sponsor, 3 sponsors. Senior fundraising, 175 each, 3 sponsors. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Eva, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Fundraisers, drama clubs to hold a breakfast with a princess on Saturday, February 21st. And to use the school cafeteria. Motion to approve that fundraiser.
I'll motion.
Ethan, a second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Trip request, FFA to Paoli High School, December 5th for the Paoli FFA Christmas party. The second grade to town for caroling at area businesses and the senior citizens area on December 17th. Let's see, elementary beta to Gatlinburg on March 11th through the 13th, the elementary beta regional leadership summit, and elementary beta students to Nashville, Tennessee, June 20th through the 23rd for the National Beta Elementary Convention. Motion to approve those trips.
I'll motion.
Eva, second.
I'll second.
Nat, all in favor?
Aye.
Facility usage, we have Pep Club to hold the homecoming dance on December 19th in the practice gym. Robotics competition February 7th here at Shoals for several areas. Motion to approve that usage.
I'll motion. I'll motion.
Ethan,
I'll second.
second. And Nat, all in favor?
We're on the same wavelength.
We are.
Miscellaneous approval for the TAG grant application and corporation insurance renewals with German American. Motion to approve those
I'll make a
those
motion.
items. Lorna,
I'll second.
Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Bond expenditures, the FEMA projects. We need to do anything with that?
I think we should table it until we have further information.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a tabled item there.
Yeah.
First reading of the overnight trip guidelines. You need to look at that. Consulting services with Stiefel. That should be. That's not first reading. That should be.
No,
approval.
it's done. I just wanted everybody
Oh,
to
okay.
look at the contract and
I'll say well that we did that last.
yeah, we did.
Memorandum of Understanding with Indiana Uplands Microelectronics Academy and Ivy Tech. That's information only.
Yeah.
And rainy day transfer resolution, transfer $15,000 to the cafeteria fund to balance the cafeteria fund. Motion to approve that.
I'll make a motion.
Lorna, second.
I'll second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
After 4 items, Montana Danton has received her master's degree with a salary increase effective December 28th. Approval of Emma Gail Weininger as substitute custodian. Request approval for non-certified staff who were hired before July 1st of 25 and are on the non-certified pay scale to receive a pay increase of 50 cents per hour effective on the first pay in February of 26. Jonathan Fink as high school boys basketball volunteer pending positive outcome of paperwork. Contract update for Audrey Gibson. And a request for a $500 stipend to those non-certified who were hired before July of 25 to include all bus drivers. Motion to approve those personnel items.
I'll make a motion.
Lorna, second. Annette, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Trip request, athletic personnel, which includes office aide and interns to the Gostoff on December 18th for Christmas appreciation lunch. High school band to the Orleans Pet Band Invitational on January the 10th. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Ethan, second. Annette, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Resolutions. Resolution to transfer amounts from the education fund to the operations fund on a biannual basis. Resolution to pre-write claims. Resolution to transfer funds. Resolution of additional appropriations if needed. And resolution to transfer appropriation balances to close out 2025 books. Motion to approve.
I'll motion.
Eva, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Kendra's going to be busy.
He is. Daddy-daughter dance moved to February 21st due to facility conflict. Request approval to accept an anonymous donation to the cafeteria for $1,500. Elementary staff to use a white bus for Christmas caroling on December 14th. Parent night out backup date of December 19th if inclement weather comes in. Renewal of the contract with Parallel for speech pathology. And the MCCF grants update. Dr. Lanham will be required to sign all impact and boost grant applications moving forward. Request approval to sanction a middle school baseball and softball program. I think that's all under that one. Motion to approve those items.
All motion.
And Annette, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approval of athletic department to send leveled sponsorship letters to the community. Motion to approve that fundraiser.
All motion.
Eva, second.
I'll second.
Lorna, all in favor?
Aye.
Buildings and grounds, approval of gym floor maintenance. Got that coming up, I think it's this month, isn't it?
Over the break, they're going to do the main gym.
And replacement of the center and north cooling towers. Motion to approve those. Annette, second.
Second.
Ethan, all in favor?
Aye.
And that brings us to the superintendent's report.
Well, I'm going to keep it very quick and say thank you to everyone for coming out tonight and engaging and talking with us. We appreciate that. We love it when people come. We love to hear from you. We want everybody to have a safe holiday season, and we want to celebrate all of our kids and the beta. And Miss Hovis was so excited she came back after your field trip. It was wonderful. All the great things. The caroling for the elementary. Are you guys in the front row going to be on that minibus on the 14th? Just saying.
You guys aren't singing?
Aha, second grade in the back row. All right. Well, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. And I'm just so thankful. We have completed our first semester, and I have to say, I'm sad that Darla's going to be tired. But I'm excited for her because she's going to get to have some great adventures. So thank you, everyone. And we hope everyone has a great holiday season.
Okay. Right along. Leave of accounting report. Need a motion to approve that.
I'll second.
Lorna and Eva, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And approval to pay claims. Motion to do that.
All motion.
Ethan, second. Annette, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And again, thanks to everybody for their input and their coming out to talk to us.
Yeah, and be careful going home.
Safe travels.
I heard that the snow's coming down really hard, so just be careful.
Have a safe trip home.